Oh, I can't even go in here like that.
So is it going out? Is it going out? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you hear it?
29. They're down by 14. And Beretta intercepted by Teague. George Teague to the end zone. Touchdown.
Don't be mad, Chris.
Hall is now right in the middle. That's their blitz. Passes away. Penalty flag down. Lamar Thomas has got it. Lamar Thomas is on his way down the sideline. George Teague is after him and runs him down. Takes the ball away from him. Teague's got the ball. And they tackle Teague back up to 12. Game's over. Alabama defeats Miami. Number 2 beats number 1, 34-13.
Blitz on from the 1. And they throw a fade right side of the end zone for Owens. He got both feet in. Touchdown catch over the shoulder. Here we go. Oh, they're going to have a big fight. There goes Owens. Puts it down. And he levels it.
Here it goes.
And now Teague is aimed at by an offensive lineman. Flozell Adams pulls Teague away. And Owens is waved to the bench. And he stands in the middle of the star and holds the ball out.
Let me tell you something, Brad. Terrell Owens started it. Emmitt Smith went out to the 50, trumped him. Now Terrell Owens comes back, and George Teague said, you know what, I'm not going to take this. Good for George Teague.
Welcome into another edition of Teague's Take Podcast with George Teague.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am your illustrious host without the rings. I'm IndyCar Tim. I'm joined alongside by George Teague. We have a very special guest. We are, by the way, live at the Maverick Bar in Carrollton, Texas, 1616 West Hebron Road, Parkway. And we have a very special guest. George is pulling out all the punches with the guests this week, man. We've got the great Cowboy, Sooner, national champion, 2-time Super Bowl winner, Tony Casillas at the table, boys.
I'm glad you said.
Wow, big
great,
crowd.
I'm glad you said great Cowboy and not great Sooner. Kind of thing. Yeah, we're gonna start
Man,
like
I'm
that.
sitting next to him.
But why is
Watch
that?
out.
You guys have always kicked our ass, so it's not like there's a rivalry between Alabama and Oklahoma.
Well, thank you for starting off like that because you're right.
But I will say this, because this is Teague's Take, right? It's your show.
it is.
Everything that you've done on the football field, Alabama, in your illustrious career in the NFL, you will be forever known the greatest Cowboy in my mind because you knocked Terrell Owens' candy ass off our star.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. And you know, one of the
So
things
I had to get that out. I had to get that out of the way.
Well, no, and I thank you because you know we're definitely going to talk about it more. But what I can say that I have a lot of respect for our defensive linemen who put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks up there. You're one of those guys that wreaked havoc. Some of the things people don't talk about with you, right, is being the second overall pick. Man, I don't even know what that feels like, but I surely want to know what that
By
feels
the
like.
Atlanta Falcons. Hey, you were a first rounder. You got nothing to be
There's a big difference in being the number 2 pick and somewhere down in the 20s.
23.
That there's a big difference.
I think his resume, he's very modest, but
Yeah.
I think if you get drafted in the National Football League, whether it's first round, whether it's the 7th round, certainly you try to to do as much as you can to build your resume to get drafted high in the National Football League. But you really can't put an asterisk on that because it is all about how you're measured in your longevity in the NFL. But this guy right here, the thing about George is he's a good dude. I mean, and I think life after football is as a coach and everything, but he's a great teammate. And, and that's how you complement each other. And it's the first time I've really heard a defensive back really give kudos to a defensive lineman because usually it's in the huddle whenever they're throwing a 9 route and you're not covering them. It's like talking off the defensive lineman.
Right.
You need to get your ass, get some pressure on the quarterback. And then when they get a pick, it's like,
Thank you.
It's on me.
It's on me, yeah. No, not me. I understood that. That's part of how you pick a team, man. If you're a defensive back, what kind of pressure you're going to get. What kind of DC do you have that can get some pressure? I mean, ultimately, we're playing for contracts, money, and it has to be a team deal. Some guys are just great, and can go make plays on their own, but I know it makes a big difference on what you have up front. And that's why I'm really excited about, hopefully, what the Cowboys are going to be able to do with this defense. So, what do you think about that, right now what the Cowboys have up front, the front four?
Well, I think this, George, that you can't compromise, a particular category. I think once you try to do that, then you have issues. So you try to complement each other. And, to your point, when you look at what they have now, obviously with Gerald McCoy getting hurt, just kind of in a freakish individual drill, that was a blow. But I think of what they've done in the offseason and brought guys in, and the people they have, the personnel they have in place, and the defensive backs that they do that they have now that are developing, I think they can complement each other. And I think we all get really excited before the Cowboys season, but I think this year kind of has a different little feel to it. Not only do you have different players, you have a new head coach and Mike McCarthy, you have a new defensive coordinator, so that adds more energy. But certainly with what they have up front and the depth that they have and what they've shown so far, because, look, we're playing pandemic football now, so we really don't know. I think it's something to be excited about.
I agree with that, and I jumped way down on my sheet with that, but I was very excited to hear about what you have to say there, because there's so much that I need to cover with you and talk to you about. Hopefully you just be an open book with us and know we're relaxed over here, brother. We just like to have a good time and talk, and I'm going to talk to you about all these fishing stories you got a little bit later.
Tony, I'll tell you how relaxed George is right now. I've never seen him drink a beer during the show. That's how relaxed he is with it.
Well, that's when you do your best radio.
Behind the beer and whatnot.
Well,
that's my MO right there.
Yeah, it kind of loosens you up a little bit and gets you ready. And I mean, this is a great first time I've been to the Maverick. It's a great venue, so I would recommend everyone coming out here to come out here and see your show. But I appreciate you guys having me out here.
Yes,
Gets me out of the house. You asked me, would you rather do it via Zoom? I'm like, hell no. Send me the address.
When I offered him a meal, he decided, that's all I needed right there.
I think it was more the beer than the meal.
What do you mean, beer's not a meal by itself?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of carbs.
A lot of carbs, man. You look like you watch all the carbs, too, by the way. You're in great shape.
3 months ago, I just realized when I officially became old is I got a knee replacement in my left knee, and I just traveled last week. It was my wife's birthday. It's her birth month. I was telling your wife, Consuela, that my wife celebrates her birthday for 30 days, so I didn't know exactly what day her birthday's on because we started last week, and that was in August. So I had the knee replacement, but I knew I was officially old when I went to the airport, and I had to tell the guy, look, I was always that guy, and you're going through security and laughing at the guy, like, the guy with the fake knee.
Did you have a cane?
I was that guy. No cane. So I'm 3 months out. I'm 3 months out, though. Okay. And, and he was giving me hell about my shirt, the Peloton shirt. And I'm not a paid spokesman for Peloton. But that's the only thing I could do during the pandemic, and anything I could do for my knee. But, I gave up my, I'm officially old because I got a prosthetic knee. But I'm good.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being nice about that, because actually what I said about his shirt was he ain't riding no Peloton or whatever it was. And then
I looked at you and I said, I know you're not riding a Peloton.
So I know there was something. And he got the little 100. What is the 100
Okay,
stand for over here?
So what this represents is that, as I mentioned in the pandemic, I guess it hit in March, and it was great timing because my wife got me a Peloton bike for Christmas because I like to cycle. I like to do, I'm not an outdoor cyclist, but I like to do, the spin classes. So she got it for me in December, and lo and behold, I didn't know we're going to have a pandemic in March and everything's going to be shut down. Because I went to the gym because I had that 300-pound man in me, and I mean, as a defensive lineman, so I didn't want it to come out. And what happened is while I was at home, that's all I could do. So what happened is that I eclipsed 100 rides, and what they do, George, no, you don't have to pay for this. It wasn't something that I had to order online. I earned it. I belong to the Century Club, so I have over 100 rides on Peloton.
Well, congratulations,
Thanks.
man. I appreciate that because I will say you're doing a lot better than me. I'm trying to get motivated to be able to do anything to exercise like that because I am not doing it. But I will admit I thought the 100 meant 100-year anniversary of the NFL because that was last year, right?
Yeah, well,
You know.
it could be that too, but maybe because I was 100 years old, I don't know, something like that.
Well, you know.
But, the thing about exercise, and I think, with a lot of guys, once you get out of the league, and I've been out of the league for a long time, is that, Peloton, and I'm not, I will encourage people because it's not inexpensive, but at first initial investment is pretty, you have to make a commitment to it. But monthly, I will tell everyone at home as far as motivation, it's virtual. So you get motivation out of that. And I always was afraid because so many times now as you get older, there's guys that are no longer here. So I guess my point is I'm trying to defeat age.
Yes.
And once and look, if you don't defeat age, then what's going to happen. But
How old are you now, though? 88? 89?
88. It's on my Wikipedia, so
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
Yeah, well, we played together, so that's all good. So listen, man, tell me about this because I know people are going to want to know. And we did have some questions that come in, but I want to ask you about this because I know people are wanting to know this too. It's about Barry Switzer because you had the opportunity to play with him in college and in the pros. What kind of relationship did you have with him?
To this day, I really think it's kind of like a father-son relationship. I think that, I always ask Coach Switzer, and he's so candid. His favorite crutch word is MF, and he was telling me about, and that's Coach Switzer. That's why I like him because he's transparent. There's no speculation. What you see is what you get, and that's how he is with relationship with the players, and you know how it is with your coach and everything. And I remember asking him one time. He said, "Yeah, I got divorced from my ex-wife, but I can't divorce 3,000 guys that I coach." And he really meant that because guys love him. I think the funniest thing about Coach Switzer is that some of the things he says is unfiltered. And I think now in our climate of, what we're in, I was in a day where maybe it was a little bit more fluid as far as things were said. But Coach Switzer, this is a funny story. He recruited me. I was from Tulsa, Oklahoma, recruited me. And Mert Johnson was the guy that actually recruited me. He says, "Yeah, I got this kid in Tulsa. He's a great, great athlete. He's big, fast, and running." He goes, "Oh, I'm going to go see him." So he comes and watches me playing a game, and he comes back and says, "Damn, man, that dude can ball." I said, "I'll tell you what, he's going to be the best Mexican I ever coached." So I was 17, and I was a little I was offended by it. I was a little insecure about, being, with, prejudice and everything I grew up with, but it kind of wore on me. So over 30 years of time, I swear to God, we'd be somewhere. And this was kind of relationship we had, George. And so it didn't matter if it was in a bar like we are now and there's a gathering of people. He'd always come up and say, "Hey, man, this is Tony Casillas. I want to introduce you. He's the best Mexican I ever coached." So this went on for 30, for however long we've known each other. So he presented me into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. And I called him. I said, "Coach, can you present me?" He goes, hell yeah." So he gets up there and he's introduced. He said, "Hey, man, you're just a great player. I love you and everything. You're like my son." And I said, "Okay." So I said, "Well, I'm going to get up there and set the record straight." So I go up and I said, "Hey, Coach Switzer, thank you. You've been such an impact on my life. I really appreciate everything that you've done for me. But let me tell you one thing. I'm the only Mexican you ever coached." And that's the first time he ever just went silent, radio silent. But Switzer is quite the contrary when it comes to someone like Jimmy Johnson. They're both did things differently. I always tell everyone I had the two of the best leaders that I could ever pray for and ever hope for to play for. and that was Coach Switzer at OU, and then finished my career in Dallas. But there was no one like Jimmy Johnson. I mean, that guy was just the perfect. He could perforate different relationships. He knew how to push buttons, and he could get everything he needed to get out of you, but let you be yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, as a matter of fact, on that subject, George, I'm going to go ahead and ask this because he's kind of touching on the.
And I'm jumping all over the place.
No,
I
you're
told
good.
you, we'll be A to Z.
You're good.
We actually had a listener email in a question. By the way, anybody wants to ask our hosts a question for the upcoming week,
What's a nice cup, by the way?
go to georgeteague.com
Oh, you
and go to Ask Teague, or you can ask it on Twitter with the hashtag Ask Teague.
Yes, sir.
Alex Boulame wanted to know, Tony, what's the biggest difference between the Jimmy Johnson's way of running the team and Barry Switzer's way, and what ultimately led to the end of the Cowboys' run in the 90s? I tell you what it was his retirement. That's what it was.
I think that was the meltdown relationship between Jerry and Jimmy,
For sure.
without a doubt. And I hear Troy, and especially when they ask him about that whole relationship, they couldn't coexist. You know, Jerry felt like that he should be entitled, which I get it. I mean, you own the team, you're entitled to try to reap the benefits and the glory of it, and I just don't think they coexist. Now, Jimmy, to me, was just he was a chronic bad loser. And when I say that in a bad way, I mean very chronic in the fact that he couldn't handle losing. Is that a bad thing? Yeah. Is it a good thing? Absolutely. But the problem with Jimmy is that he couldn't balance out who was in charge, and because ultimately Jimmy is the one that developed and really developed those teams of the 90s. And, you know, that's the difference between Coach Switzer. Hell, Coach Switzer, he was on the couch when Jerry called him and said, hey, would you like to come down here and coach? And, you know, he said, oh, well, let me finish my glass of wine and let me know. He said, hell yes, I'll come down there. So that was before we even knew that was – I mean, Barry knew before Jimmy that he was going to make the change as far as you know, Jimmy either fire him or, you know, Jimmy basically resigning. But, you know, that's the difference between those guys. I mean, you know, Jimmy was able to cultivate this culture of guys that really, in the 90s, we had a lot of personalities. If we had social media, man, it would be the most entertaining. I mean, anything on social media, I mean, it would be crazy. But as I mentioned earlier, George, I mean, he would give you enough to be yourself, but he knew ultimately you had to take care of what you were doing. That was being a professional football player. And we could compartmentalize that. And a lot of guys can, especially I think in the day in which they play now. But, you know, those two dudes are totally polar opposites, Barry and Jimmy.
Yes, they are. I'm trying to get JT in here.
Can I tell you a real quick story about Jimmy? So,
Come on.
to really, the difference between Barry is just so personality-wise. I mean, they both went to Arkansas. They played with each other. They have a great respect. But I tell this story about Jimmy, and we were on the road, and we were playing Washington on Monday night. We got our asses kicked. And as I said, Jimmy cannot handle losing. And so we're on our way back, and so all the coaches sit in the front of the plane, and you have the media, and then you have the players back. And so we can all see what's in front of us. We can see who's coming back. So we have to adjust to, you know, whatever we're doing. If we're back there having a cold beer, playing, you know, cards or sleeping, whatever it is. So Jimmy was livid. So we see him on the front of the plane, and we're in the very back, and we see Jimmy walking back in the back of the plane, and we're like looking at Jimmy, and like everyone's like, okay, put your head down. You need to. Jimmy's walking back, and you could see his hair was messed up, and he had that rage, and he was looking for someone. And so Frank Cornish, God bless him, he passed away a few years ago. He always laughed all the time, and he didn't see Jimmy. So Jimmy walks back, and you know, Frank always, you know, he's always laughing. So we all got quiet, and Jimmy walks back, and he turns around, and Jimmy's right in his face. And that's the first time I've ever seen a black man turn white. He looks at him.
First time, how many times have you seen it? Good Lord.
No, this is one time. It's a metaphor. He was scared out of his mind. I'm sorry. So he goes, what the hell are you laughing at? He goes, we just got our asses kicked, Frank. He goes, I'll deal with you tomorrow. Meaning that he was going to cut him.
That was it.
Yeah.
About 45 minutes later, there was a thunderstorm, a severe thunderstorm. The pilot says we're going to have to land the plane, divert the plane. Jimmy goes in the cockpit. This is pre-9/11. Goes up, opens the door, says, "I want you to land this damn plane right now." Pilot grabs him, takes him, sets him up in first class, sets him down, says, "Jimmy, you lost a football game. I got 240 people on this plane to worry about. Sit your ass down." So that was Jimmy, and I mean, we could go on, and Lincoln, Coleman, he's here. I mean, he's got a story about. I mean, we all got stories about Jimmy, but that's why we were so great. We understood it. We understood what it took, and we knew that certain guys are going to get cut because Jimmy used them as an example for the other guy.
Yes, he did. That's when the CBA had to start changing the rules on cut policy because people were getting cut in the middle of practice. And that was the end. And what you saying?
No, I was like, just get them on tape. Just walk on the field. All right. And then see,
people don't even understand that part. And
Curvin Richards comes to mind as an example. Sherman Williams, you're
John
Alabama.
Roper.
John Roper.
He got traded from Chicago, and he's a dumbass. I mean, I'm just saying that. I mean, if you go into a special teams meeting, you fall asleep next to Jimmy Johnson, that's on you.
Yeah, it's that time to go, ain't it?
So he fell asleep, and
who was it that he yelled at to go over to the asthma fields
over
there?
I wasn't there, but that's epic. That's epic, man.
That's classic Jimmy, man.
You can't make that stuff up either, can you?
I didn't deal with Jimmy at the Cowboys. I dealt with him when I was with the Dolphins.
Y'all were best friends at the Dolphins.
No, I think I already told that story once.
So did he calm down much? Was he? I mean, I couldn't imagine him changing that much. But
he let me go in the weight room. That was part of my story. That he caught me in the middle of the workout. Hey, let me talk to you for a second.
Was that your first time in the weight room?
Oh, you play safety.
I'm sorry. You can throw me off here anytime.
No, I was on the Tony Casillas plan, still riding the bike. You know what I'm saying? Just riding the bike. That's all we doing.
Just get you on tape, and they would do that. All
just
they had
to make
do,
sure because they didn't want the settlement. They didn't want to have.
Yeah, that was part of the CBA.
You couldn't be hurt because they're never going to have to pay you the deal. I learned about that doing an internship. That's basically why I didn't eventually go into coaching at that time. Was just seeing the business side of it and knowing that they were intentionally trying not to get players hurt, so they could cut them later in the day. It hit way too close to home for me, so I had to.
Well, I always taught the players, George, and maybe you had the same perspective, but that's the reason why they'd go in, as a, on the other side of it, as you mentioned, as a coaching aspect of it, listening to what they said about the players, and you're like, that's what they used to say about me?
That was rough, bro. The first time I did it, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Because, and I'll give you a real story. So I did an internship with the Cleveland Browns, and they gave me full access to everything. So I was just like the coach or whatever, right? And they were listening to it, and they were telling me the similar situation would actually happen to me. Hey, we're going to cut this guy later, give him some reps in practice so he can get on film, but don't give him too many reps because we don't want him to get hurt, pull a hamstring, any of that kind of stuff, right? So I knew that this guy was going to get cut. And this guy comes to me during practice and asks, man, Coach, what do I got to do to be able to make this team?
Man, that's tough.
I know, because you can't say.
Can't tell them nothing.
You ain't going to make it. Matter of fact, they're going to let you go at 3 o'clock.
See, I'll talk to you tomorrow about it.
It's a cutthroat business. Yeah.
So, that was pretty tough for me. And I know they show a lot of things on Hard Knocks and all that kind of stuff now to help through that, for people to really see it. But it's a tough business from the other side to know the secrecy that you got to have when guys are about to get cut. I don't even know what it could be like now. And speaking of breaking news, we need to be able to talk about this, right?
Yes.
Clinton Dix, my old Alabama boy, gets cut from the Dallas Cowboys today. Safety position.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? We always get breaking news on the Teague's Take show.
We do.
We missed one the other day because someone didn't my source didn't give me the hot breaking news, but this one kind of not caught me off guard because we heard he wasn't having a very good camp.
Yeah.
But I am kind of shocked a little bit.
Especially after signing that contract.
Yeah, and in the contract I read on social media was guaranteed.
Yeah.
And he spent 5 years with Mike McCarthy, and Darius Thompson sounds like he's having a hell of a pandemic camp. You know, that's the problem with it too, is that there's not much evaluation because there's no preseason.
Can't play no games.
So if you're not getting it done with what they're doing now, then, I mean, like I said, I mean, you're disposable, and that's what happened to him. But I was surprised they didn't even keep him for the first week. I mean, Darius Thompson must be playing, you know, having that good of a camp.
How hard do you think it is for a veteran guy with a new coach and a new team during this pandemic to really shine with no games, you know, no film, it's only practice? Because you know how the veterans get at practice time during training camp, especially if they've been in the league 6-7 years. You think veterans have
Hold on,
to
this isn't a new coach for him.
Yes, this is old coach from Green Bay.
Okay. All
That's
right.
why he was here, because McCarthy was familiar with him and he knew him. And
5 years.
So who cut him then?
Drafted.
You think that's a McCarthy move, or
yeah.
you think that's a Jerry Jones trying to set something up to get another safety in here?
Well, I mean, this whole, like, the Earl Thomas and the ballots, I think that I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, under the current, the situation and the things that you've heard about Earl Thomas, and you know this as a player, you know, I think it's more detrimental to the way you treat players and you treat management. I think that's an unwritten rule that you don't call guys out. I mean, I don't, you kind of get labeled, but I think the whole pandemic, the way the evaluation, there's no preseason game, and look, if you're already established, which Clinton Dix was, but Darius Thompson, as I said, he must be really, really doing some special things, because I just don't think that they would, cut him right now. Yeah. But next week, the Cowboys are playing, and that's amazing itself.
Yeah, timing was weird. For sure.
Timing's very weird. So, hey, before we get into a break, I want to ask you another question, and this has to do with Super Bowl and national championship, because a lot of guys don't get the opportunity to have both of those. Well, and you got multiple Super Bowl championships and a national championship. How do you rate them, man? What's better, national championship, Super Bowl, and based upon the ones of the three that you had, which one was the best for you?
It's always a great question, because it's always in the moment, to win a national championship, and it's the best thing that's ever happened at that point in your career. And we won a national championship, and when I was at Oklahoma, it was nothing like it. How many times you dream and how much work do you put in it, and how many things had to happen to you to actually be able to get to that point to have a chance to win it. And I was very fortunate. We were so good in 1985. We had the best defense. Oklahoma played defense back then, and always.
I like that. I love it. Back then.
That's just Big 12 right there.
And I know I'm an old dude, and maybe I sound like an old, stuck in the Southwest Conference. Well, Texas. I remember we played Texas, and I don't think they got a first down or got past the 50 the second half, but. It's generational. I think that a lot of people think that you can't play defense because Oklahoma, I think they really sacrificed that side of the ball to be quarterback to put up numbers and really just go and look at recruiting more or less than looking at the other side of the game and the other side of the football. And the narrative is always Oklahoma will win the Big 12. They'll get to the Final Four, but they can't close it because they can't play defense. And that's been a narrative. So in 85, getting back to your question, George, we played with Brian Bosworth. We played with Jamel Holloway. We had some great players on defense, and we beat Penn State. But something about the Super Bowl, it's just really, it's hard to describe. And even if you get older, you still have a chance to reflect. Obviously, you have the hardware, but just the guys, the fraternity of players that you were with and what you did. And
Show them that thing. Put that thing up.
yeah, this is kind of old, but this is what
got that big ring, baby.
But it's precious. I mean, it's precious metal. It's priceless in the fact of what you did. And
Which Super Bowl is that?
This one was from 90.
First one?
No, this is 93.
27 or 28?
28.
28, yeah. 30-13.
Yeah, it was. No, 30-13. The one we won in Pasadena was 56-17, and we had like
52-17.
52-17. Yeah, something. It would have been 10, but that was a Leon.
Thanks, Leon. By the way,
which I don't understand why people get on Leon, because unless you're a bookie, unless you're betting, you got the you're trying to cover.
Well, did you know that Don Beebe prevented the Cowboys from scoring the most points ever in a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
which is held by the Bears with 55.
That's the only thing Don Beebe did all day long.
Got that right.
My bad.
Because we went back. I was doing something with Cowboys. Yeah, that's the only thing they did halfway good that day. Was he'll be forever be known for that play, and it won't be his play in the Super Bowl. It'll be for that particular play with Leon. But as a defensive player, man, we had like 9 turnovers in that game.
Yeah,
9. I mean, that's still a Super Bowl record.
That's how you win, man. That's how you win.
And we caused that. I mean, it was one of those games where you went back and forth, and obviously the defense. I mean, we really lowered the boom on them. But the Super Bowl is just an out of body experience. It's something that you go to. It's like Never Land, and you go there and you look around and you're like, is that real? Is that real? Is that real? And then when you get to the game, you're like, is it? It's almost like you can't breathe because you hyperventilate because you're as a player, your adrenaline gets so high. But just the fact that it comes out of your mouth and just explodes, I mean, you cannot really just lowering the heart rate. But I'd had the Super Bowl without a doubt, and I've been fortunate to be able to experience both of them, brother.
You got 2 of them, man.
Yeah.
You got 2 of them. Well, congratulations to you on that. And so, before we go into this break, this is a yes or no question because I want to lead into this for JT a little bit later. LSU, do you like them or not? This is a yes or no right now. Just yes or no, right?
Not really.
Okay, good. Then we're going to talk a little bit right after the break with JT and Teague's take, and he got some other information that he needs to share with us afterwards too. So hopefully you'll stick around. Let's finish this thing up another 30 minutes after the break. All right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Sounds
it.
good. We'll be right back.
ProfoundSites.com for your personal and commercial needs. Websites built, repaired, secured, maintained, and found. Brent Thomas and ProfoundSites.com provide e-commerce development, website development, online marketing, web, mobile, and e-commerce consulting. With over 10 years experience, Profound Sites is responsible for creating GeorgeTeague.com, where you can hear Teague's Take with George Teague every week. Brent Thomas and Profound Sites can take you through the entire pain-free process of building your new website. From initial discussion to planning, design, to coding, and making your site live and discoverable on the internet. Contact Brent Thomas at ProfoundSites.com or email him at brent@ProfoundSites.com.
Hey, this is IndyCar Tim. I want to talk to you about the Maverick Bar and Grill in Carrollton, Texas. It's North Dallas's premier sports bar and grill located at 1616 West Hebron Parkway. It's 16 minutes from just about anywhere in the DFW Metroplex. With all of the live action on dozens of TVs and the big screen, it's the place to hang out and watch the return of sports with all your friends. Friday and Saturday nights, you'll find the best live music in DFW right there at the Maverick Bar. And of course, on Thursday nights at 6 p.m., you'll find Teague's Take broadcasting live with Alabama and Cowboys legend George Teague. Come hang out and be part of the show. Check out the Maverick Bar and Grill in Carrollton, 972-492-7500, or on the web at themaverickbar.com.
Need a one-stop shop for Cowboys news and happenings over at the Star in Frisco? Click on over to CowboysSI.com, featuring Mike Fisher with 30 years experience covering America's team. It's the most popular of all the Sports Illustrated sites and home to the Cowboys Blitzcast podcast. CowboysSI.com is the place to get inside your Cowboys. With such a talented team of writers and reporters over there, you'll always know the latest about personnel and roster moves, salary cap issues, and draft class status. Click on over to CowboysSI.com and always be in the know and get the inside scoop on America's team.
Increase time inside your home, noticing all the little things needing attention? Let Repair Resource be your one trusted contractor to tackle all of your home repair needs. They do it all: electrical, plumbing, drywall, painting, and flooring of all types. They can even handle your exterior needs, like fencing, patio covers, concrete pads, and decking. No job too big or small. Repair Resource does it all. Call them at 972-415-1198 or visit them online at www.repair-resource.com.
Hello, Teague's Take fans. This is IndyCar Tim, and I want to talk to you about our good friends over at Meat Church. Do you need to take your barbecue and grilling game to the next level? Check out the great line of products from Meat Church Barbecue, from seasoning and rubs to full-blown recipes for things like pork belly burnt ends, smoked queso, beef ribs, smoked bologna, and Texas-style brisket. Meat Church has what you need. If your barbecue and grilling game is lacking, check out their barbecue classes and other events. They'll help you raise your game to impress friends and family. If you're in the Waxahachie area, please check out their store at 205 West College Street or give them a call at 214-980-1063 or head on over to meatchurch.com for locations near you where you can get all their great products or order directly online at meatchurch.com. And welcome back to Teague's Take podcast with George Teague, JT. I am IndyCar Tim, and we are joined live at the table here at the Maverick Bar in Carrollton, Texas by Sooner great and Cowboy great, Tony Casillas.
Yes.
Wait.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
All right, so, God, what kind of helmet is that?
Stop, man. Leave that thing. Really, you played before me, so I know you're.
I thought I was
His
old.
were Tony Casillas' were leather.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
That's JT.
That's JT.
It sounds kind of weird
Yeah,
not having him here.
I
JT
like the
is
way he
normally
just
sitting
like-
in the seat here.
I like the way he just chimes in on that, right?
Well, you know, the first
like
time I saw it, there was a little ghost around there, so I was like, "Ooh, what's going on?"
He's got to take care of his boy. But no, it's just that's game. Is that a game worn one?
It is.
Wow.
Both of them are the real helmet. So
Looks like he didn't hit much with the other one. That's a game worn. There's not a scratch on it.
Mike McCord, man, took care of us, man, back there in the back end. I didn't want all that stuff. I wanted my stuff.
That's not the TO helmet, is it? Because you hit him with your shoulder pad.
You know what? This ain't supposed to be about me. This is supposed to be about JT right now.
Hey, it's your show, man. Oh, I'm sorry, JT.
Yeah, this is Teague's Take
Leather helmet.
Junior. Yeah, on that.
Can't wait to see you again.
I got to be nice to me.
I think the last time Tony saw me, I think I was 16, so that was like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So JT, is he his wife? Are they?
Yeah. So JT, you want to tell us?
So I don't want to. I don't want to let
so
things
before
out.
we get
I don't
into
know if I
money
should
matters.
congratulate you or
Well, before we get into money matters, why don't you tell
your wife's
everybody
looking
why
at
you're
me, Tony.
absent? Why are you absent today?
Yeah, so I'm coming to you live from Medical City. My wife is having a baby today. We haven't started into labor yet, but
oh, there you are.
it's getting close. So she's laying in the bed right on the other side of the wall, and if I have to dip out a little bit early because we're starting the process, then I will. But right now, the reason that I am not at the Maverick Bar right now. So
Well, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, son. So keep us updated. If there's more breaking news in the next 30 minutes,
Hey, wait, you're going to be a grandfather, man. You're going to be a grandfather.
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am.
I'm not there yet. I'm sorry, JT.
I'm gonna be
I thought I just throw that in there.
I'm already a broke grandfather too, because Consuelo over there buying everything for the baby. But anyway, that's a different subject, different story. That'll be the deal. So, JT, what you got with us with Money Matters today?
So for Money Matters, brought to you by ProfoundSites.com. The question, and hopefully Emily can't actually hear me on the other side of this wall very well, but the question is, are the wheels coming off at LSU? So they've had a number of opt-outs this year. They've had I think 2 or 3 on defense, and then yesterday or 2 days ago, Jamar Chase, their leading returning receiver and projected first rounder, and supposedly the best receiver in college football today, has also decided to opt out. Combined with the fact that they had 7 offensive starters graduate and lost them to the NFL draft, and their guru passing coordinator, offense coordinator, Joe Brady, is now the offensive coordinator at the Carolina Panthers. So my question is LSU actually even going to win 9 games this year? Is that, are we buying or selling the stock of LSU?
Oh. Well, first of all, with the case you just put out there, I don't know how we buying anything.
Yeah. They may not even play.
Well, yeah. So here, my conspiracy theory with Jamar Chase was that the reason why he waited so late is because that they started fall camp, and he got into camp and decided that, oh boy, this offense isn't actually all that good, and maybe I should just go ahead and take my talents to the NFL instead of stick around here for another year. That's what I think.
JT, you got to look at the comments that your wife just put down there.
Wait, is she? So she over here laying in the bed then on Facebook.
She's not even supposed to be on her phone, man. She's supposed to
I
be
know.
Shirley, what is she doing? She put it that she didn't approve of this topic. Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
Maybe JT's trying to hurry up the process.
Yeah, I know. So no, to answer your question though, I'm selling on LSU because of the reasons. I think that some of it, if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, and this would be my one joke about LSU, to everyone, is that he probably figured he can make more money right now because LSU is already paying him, so he can just go ahead and chill for a little while.
Right. I didn't even mention
He got to
mention that LSU is under 2 investigations right now. One for their basketball team, the FBI is on them, and
Yeah, but they're so clean. Please.
and then you got Beckham actually literally handing people money on camera and on the field.
Yes, and
Best players money can buy.
And Lincoln Coleman need to stop because he went to Baylor and they got a whole other deal over there.
Oh yeah, come on now.
Don't even start with that now.
That's a slippery slope.
We gonna keep this on the table up here. We're gonna let you come up in a minute.
I'm not going to tell anybody where I went to school. Forget this.
SMU?
Texas A&M.
Oh,
Yes, sir. So anyway, listen. I don't know. You guys want to answer about this LSU deal?
I think everyone probably wishes that COVID happened last year for LSU because they wouldn't have had any players on that team. 19 players in the NFL.
Yes.
I mean, that was that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the SEC. 9 games. Hey, that's just what they did last year offensively from 1 year. I mean, they hire an offensive mind coordinator, and they put up those numbers. I mean, I gotta sell LSU because what they did last year is remarkable.
Well, I'd already lost faith in them once they lost. Brady, the OC,
Offensive coordinator.
The offensive
The
coordinator.
defensive coordinator's gone too, by the way.
Yeah, they're both gone.
Yeah. So once he was gone, I just thought it was going to be a different.
Coach O's good, but he ain't that good. He can't do it by himself.
No, he can't. So,
Man, I love watching his interviews. So,
He's so great, man.
You watch Swamp People?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great TV.
yes,
That's where I'm
sir.
from. I was born down there, so that's
I
unfortunately.
I could play for that dude, though.
Right?
I mean, I could ball for that guy.
So look at my man here from Bluff City. How do you feel about no tackling to the ground during the camp? Like Dallas used to have the Jimmy Johnson
Is
days.
this the wussification of the Cowboys?
I cannot relate to that. Man, that's just the way. Let's think about that. Think about it's 21st century football now compared to when we played. It was totally different. I got no problem with it. The problem is that when they get into live action, which I understand, the way this season, this quirky pandemic, trying to get the fact that they're going to play football. I am still like until I see that game Thursday night,
What's the defensive tackle name from the Rams they about to face?
Oh, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, man, don't you think that he about
That's
to
full
hit
grown
one of them
man
running
right there.
backs in the face? You know, I don't think it's smart. I think, and I don't know, there has to be some kind of acclimation to getting hit. You already see, and this is going to be one of the topics. I won't need to hit on that much, but I think we're already. I feel like we're seeing more injuries now.
Oh yeah,
just because of the lack of off-season work.
Exactly.
You know, you're having all these soft muscle things, and people are getting hurt just for freaky stuff. And I feel like, you know, when you're in there and I don't know how your body felt on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, but if you're going to go into week 1 and you hadn't really had any bang, you don't have no preseason games, you didn't get to work in the season. I remember the first preseason game, bro, and you just had to run. The tiredness was different in the game than in practice. And you're going to go into this first game, and I'm a defensive back, and some big running back is going to come around there, and I got to hit him. And right after I just went deep and I'm out of gas, I think that week 1 could look kind of ugly.
You haven't taken anybody to the ground. Remember when you have to get like hitting shape 2 weeks before?
That's right.
And now you're week 1, and think about how your body's going to feel after you play 65 plays. If you make it through the game.
I hope they have.
Yeah. How about 30 plays?
Or 30 plays. How about 10, 15 plays?
I don't know. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Not going to be good. So, anyway.
Well, Tony, as a former player, how do you feel about the no preseason? Like, this is something that the players have wanted for a while.
I love it because I played in the era when there was 4 preseason games. Yeah. I think that you need – I think 2 is probably more realistic because – you know, you need evaluation. That's the problem now that people understand. And look at some of the guys. I was watching Hard Knocks last night, and they made up a point, and we're doing the cuts. Is a lot of these guys that are getting cut now are getting cut because of the vet guys that they already have familiarity with. Right. So if they had like 1 or 2 preseason games, maybe they get a chance to be evaluated and give them a valid reason why they should keep them. Now they don't have that. So this is really not been very good for a guy that's looking for a job that doesn't have any job security.
Yeah, there's no film for other teams to say, hey, we like this guy or whatever. And, you know, if you're going to have no preseason games, you're at least going to have full contact offseason and full contact training camp and stuff like, you know, can't even tackle right now.
Come on in here. I'm bringing up Lincoln Coleman. Y'all give him a round of applause for letting Lincoln Coleman come on in for a minute. You got my phone right here. Yeah, he's sitting up in a hot chair right now, but
what's that?
He kind of short. So
the high chair or the hot chair?
That's the hot seat.
There we go.
Right
Yes,
now.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Here we go.
Thank you for coming out. Big
No,
brother.
thanks for having me, man. My buddies told me that you guys were doing something tonight, and I said, it's COVID-19. I'm not able to see all my people.
Yes, sir.
So now I'm going to come out and see my people.
Well, I'm glad you're here, man. I know
Yes,
you
sir.
always want to support.
Yes, sir.
Great with charity and everything else, but I want to dive right into it. And let me see, because I want you to tell this story because I don't make sure we don't want to miss that. You got a story about Jimmy Johnson I would like for you to share with everybody.
Okay.
I can't wait for this.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right, check this out. So I think it's about the second to the last game of the season, okay? I think we're playing the Jets. Casillas, I don't know if you remember this. It's 93, playing the Jets. We're beating the brakes off of them. We're like 28-0. And, of course, they put me in because we're killing them, and I'm the backup to Emmett.
Save Emmett.
Save Emmett, you know, let's get him ready for the playoffs.
Right.
And so they punt to us. We get it on the 5, going out, and they put me in. I go in there. It's Ronnie Lott's last year. I try to give Ronnie Lott the business. Ronnie Lott rips the ball out of me, and this defensive lineman picks the ball up. He runs up to me and says, I just got you cut, young cat. And so I turn to the sidelines, and there's Jimmy Johnson. Coleman, just screaming my name. And so I'm trying to hide behind Nate, you know, dip in behind Eric Williams, something. And he grabs me by the face mask. It's all on national TV. My mama, but she was pissed. She was ready. She said, you don't do my baby like that. And so he grabbed her face mask and says, I'm putting you back in here. I'm giving you the ball every play. And Lincoln, if you drop that ball, I'm going to cut your tail. You hear me? I'm going to cut your tail. And so my eyes are bucked. And this guy, 5 minutes to go in the game. He gives the ball to me every play. I don't fumble. I get into the locker room, sit down, and everybody's high-fiving each other because they ended up scoring 28-7 because of my fumble. And I'm sitting there and I go, I just started crying. I mean, I'm talking about I'm wailing. I got Emmett coming over and I got Aikman coming over, and they're like, hey, man, don't worry about that, man. What are you tripping about? And all I could think in my mind was 92 when Curvin Richards. Richards.
University of Alabama, right?
He fumbled.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
So when he fumbled, they cut him immediately. So that's all I'm thinking about. This is my first year. I'm a Dallas boy. We're about to go to the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl. The very next morning, I'm in there at 6:30, 7 in the morning. Michael Irvin comes over to me and sits down and says, hey, man, coach called me in the morning, man, about 3, 4 in the morning. He said he's going to cut you. He says, I told him, remember last year when you cut Swervin? He says, we was without a running back, and if Emmett got hurt, we would have been messed up. He says, don't do that again this year. He said, I just saved your ass, boy. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I told Mike, I said, I love you. Thank you so much.
That's a great Michael Irvin impression, by the way.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He sounded just like him for real.
Hey, but I'm going to tell you something. Good. I was a Cowboy before I was a Cowboy. A buddy of mine, you remember Paco?
Oh, yeah.
Me and Paco played semi-pro football.
Paco?
Yeah, we played semi-pro.
Paco played semi-pro?
He played semi-pro football.
Wait a second.
Lord.
The Paco, Ballet Paco?
Anthony Montoya.
That was Michael's. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just, valet.
Yeah, that.
So,
Well, wait a second.
I try to say.
That's not a bad thing. It was paid well.
That's your cousin. That's your cousin, isn't it?
Why is it got to be my cousin?
Stop, man.
Because his name Paco?
But you know what I
remember we're in a climate of social injustice. Hey, now see, this is the stuff that I miss.
Right.
You ain't
social injustice in that locker room.
Oh my God.
Black lives matter. All lives matter in that locker room.
Hey, man,
Paco,
we got all races up here. We got all races.
Anyway,
up here,
well, Paco was.
You're the one that started it. Paco.
Yeah, no. Paco
Anyway,
was the guy.
I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
Paco was the manager. I called him manager.
But no, okay. I'm not even going to divulge on it. What time's the show over? That's the time.
Here we go. But he played semi-pro football with me. One day he calls me and says, hey, Link, I need you to get to the airport, man. You're going to be playing basketball with the Cowboys. Click. I said, man, come on, man, don't play with me. I hung up on him. He called me back. Said, dude, I got you a plane ticket. You need to get to Love Field. We're going to be out in, it was right on the border, playing some, whatever.
Appropriately enough on the border.
Really,
someplace
bro?
with Paco
I'm going to be playing. So I rush up there. I missed that plane. 30 minutes later, there was another plane. So I get on that plane. I get off at the airport. They got a limo for me. I said, man, is this really going to happen? So I pull up. They take me to the gym. I'm the only one in the locker room. I put the, the basketball team. And I go into the gym and I see Michael Irvin and I see Leon Letch. And they go, this is Lincoln Coleman, running back for the Dallas Cowboys. I was like, oh my God, I'm playing for the Cowboys.
Oh, that's
I couldn't
great.
believe it.
Boy, he played
But because Paco was the manager of that team, or obviously basketball team, I got to play with the Cowboys.
Y'all know,
And I love
y'all know
Paco's
he
a good-
watch. He's big on Facebook, so he gonna see this.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
y'all talking about him.
Oh, listen, Paco.
He got
Paco
a great
is a
gym, though.
he's a
I need to
living
give him a
legend.
little love because Consuelo and I love Anthony Montoya because he has the
Montoya
boxing
boxing
lounge. He
promotions.
does, but yes, I am giving him a
Paco,
plug for
his
that.
daddy, they are
We
awesome.
always go to his
They are
boxing
awesome.
matches. He
They are
always
awesome.
hook us up with
They
ringside
are
and all that.
absolutely
Y'all haven't
awesome.
gone to support his people. You need to do it.
Michael Montoya, what's up, baby?
Yeah, see, look at it.
yeah,
You don't
I
want
know.
to give up them tickets
I love
either.
it,
You know what
brother.
I'm saying?
Listen, we are all from the hood now.
We all can relate right here. We're all good.
All right, let me reel y'all back in because we do have another question.
By the way, for those of you watching on the video right now, you'll see this bright light shining on me. It's from all the Super Bowl rings that are at the table right now.
I ain't got one. So it's these two. I ain't got one.
Listen, I got an Arena Bowl ring too. You know what I mean?
Arena Bowl.
Arena Bowl, baby.
Dallas, Texas,
I'm
baby.
just saying.
Oh my God.
I was the first one. They always say Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner didn't win the Arena Bowl. I did.
Did you work at the same
I worked at Home
supermarket
Depot.
that he was
I worked
at? Oh, you at
Home
Home Depot. Okay.
I was at Home Depot, baby. I was level up. I leveled up.
All right.
The grocery store.
Yeah, so we need to ask, because I want to get y'all opinion on this too. The scrimmage that they had.
Ooh.
Televised.
Ooh.
CD Lamb.
No
baby.
numbers.
Ooh.
No
Love it.
names
Love it.
on their jersey.
Did they tackle?
I didn't
no.
watch it.
Ooh.
They don't tackle.
Hey, here's
So-
my theory. My theory about that. Buffalo, 4 years in a row to the Super Bowl, which is fantastic.
They didn't hit either of those.
After 8 games, they stopped hitting. Everybody they played those 4 Super Bowls, they were still hitting it. Till
Yeah,
the
but
end.
San Francisco had that same philosophy.
They did. They didn't hit.
And they-
Walsh.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Walsh didn't do it.
Okay,
No,
I'm just that was my
But after
But
eight,
what's that gotta do with the numbers?
but after 8 games in the season, why do you need to hit each other, right?
Tell Jimmy that
Yeah, I mean,
because
there's
we
no,
were scrimmaging the day of
Yeah.
the week of Super Bowl.
Okay.
depends on if
In
Jimmy
cold.
was pissed off or not.
See, this is what locker room talk is really like. If y'all really want to know, because they ain't answered the question yet. I'm talking about the jersey numbers. They got no names on the jerseys. They don't
I'm
have
sorry.
no
I'm
numbers.
sorry.
They got
I'm sorry.
no numbers on their jerseys.
So, by the way, that's a violation
That's
of
good.
rules. I don't know if y'all know that or not.
No, I didn't.
No.
know that.
How-
However,
that.
because there's an exception this year, of course, with everything because of COVID, the date that you have to have numbers and names on your jerseys in practice got moved up to September 7th. For
Yeah, but-
whatever reason.
So
Yeah.
why do you think he did it? Then? Why do you think McCarthy chose not to have any numbers?
I don't think he wanted
I
everybody
No,
to.
no scouts. Come on, man. He's on TV.
Yeah, he didn't want.
I think the exposure and everything else, although we didn't get to see a whole lot.
They're going to be watching scheme, man.
I think you're doing too much.
And look, I think it's refreshing. You got a new coach and Mike McCarthy, and everyone's complained the last 10 years about Jason Garrett, right?
Yep.
So he's gotten still. So I think it's something different, unique that he's done. And these coaches, they're very vanilla anyways. They're not going to show a whole lot. But I think this was kind of like, it's kind of, something different to kind of add that we haven't seen around here.
Right.
Yeah, man. You can't reinvent the wheel.
You said he's trying to show that he's running the team, or that he's not trying to show his offense or defense?
I think it has
Well,
more to
he's-
do with not.
The
Showing what they're doing.
way he's been bragging on Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
what
coming
the-
from
they're
Jerry
not
or if that's
watching
coming
the Cowboy film anyway.
Well,
They're
no.
watching the Green Bay tape to see what he's going to do. I don't know. Maybe it's different with personnel or something, but he's still the play caller, and you still rely on the stuff that you're going to do that
You know who I really like though, George, is Tony Pollard. I really like
Man,
that
I like
kid.
that guy.
I think it's a really
Yeah.
1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Offensively, and I think under McCarthy's play
I
calling.
hope they use him more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they feed off each other.
They need to use them out of
In
the slot
games where
zone.
they actually use them,
Yeah.
JT, is
They
he on your
feed off
fantasy
each other,
team?
man.
Is he on your fantasy
Tony
team?
Pollard?
Yeah.
No, somebody scooped him up late round when I was getting ready to pick him up. It's probably you.
No, I didn't get. I don't know. I got too many teams.
So what do you think about this? Amari Cooper's already said before the season started that they were going to have 3 1,000-yard receivers.
oh yeah, that's awesome.
I don't think that's
If
unreasonable.
the case, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot, and they may be behind.
My question would be, what 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to
Well, I
happen.
mean, the Chargers already have the Chargers have 2 1,000-yard receivers. So I think if the Chargers can get 2, come on, any.
Oh, we
Well,
had,
but they don't
we
have
had
a running
to.
game, though.
Then we have.
We're supposed to have a running
Gallup
game.
and Cooper both had 1,000
Yeah, we
last
had
year.
to.
right?
They're
Oh,
saying
yeah. So, I mean, there you go.
that means
But-
CD, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper.
My thing is,
Right.
what about Zeke?
He get about
Because
600.
he would have to be about 600 in
Well,
catches.
I
bro.
already asked one of my questions. I asked Stretch. Y'all remember Stretch?
Yeah.
Dan Smith. I asked him about is Dak a 4,000-yard passer?
Well, he
I
was.
think he is.
He was last year.
Yeah, he was last year.
Again,
He's,
with
Oh,
this, is Zeke said he got to get his now.
He's
going
to want to
Kinda
run.
Said that.
He ain't going to want to
gotta
catch
get
the
his.
ball.
I think this is going to be a breakout. I mean, I'm talking about it. I think Dak's going to have one of. He's going to get. He got franchised. I think this year it's going to be one of his. He's going to show everyone why he's a franchise quarterback.
Okay.
I think he's gonna have
All
a
right, so
tremendous
here's the
year.
question:
Okay.
are the Cowboys going to Super Bowl or not?
No,
What?
No.
No, doesn't.
ain't no humility in them. There's no humility in them. Yeah, there's no humility in them.
I think they're a year away.
Yeah, I
We say
would
that
give them
every
a
year.
year. I give them a year.
No, we usually say there's always next year, like Cubs fans.
You got to slap his little tail on it.
Okay.
They need a wake-up call. Right now, they're just living on what we did or they did
That's
or
pretty cool.
Dorset and all of that stuff. I really and truly, I watch them. I go to the autograph sessions, and you know what I mean. I see how they interact with people and all of that kind of stuff. There's no humility. You know what I mean?
Well, let me back up. Do they win the NFC East?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Are we good enough to have a bye?
No.
Well, if they win the NFC East, I think.
No.
Are we good enough to get a bye?
There's only one bye.
It's hard to predict this year because of the whole. I mean, they haven't really
who's
had much time to.
In the NFC, who you going with? You going with Tampa or you going with the Saints?
It's ugly. It's ugly now in the NFC.
I think it's a crapshoot this year. I like the Cowboys bye week, win first playoff game, or lose. I win the bye week and lose in the second round.
Get by the Giants. Get by the Giants.
I had them losing to the Saints in the NFC Championship.
Get by the Giants.
We're going to beat the brakes off the
Ben,
Giants.
are y'all kidding me? Jason
Come on, man. They picked up Jason Garrett.
And a dog at running back. You're telling me that it's an easy win.
Wait, let me do it for them. Everybody watching.
Man, y'all better stop. Y'all better stop.
Oh, man, Jason Garrett couldn't get offense right. Jason Garrett could win the big game.
Huh?
He said Jason Garrett could win big games when he was with us. How he supposed to go to the Giants and all of a sudden just
Garrett isn't in charge. All he has to do is
what's going to happen if Daniel Jones has a better year than Dak Prescott.
That's what I'm telling
He's
you.
going to be the greatest OC ever.
Yes,
okay, so
he is.
Stop.
He's a good coordinator.
Does Garrett, when they come here,
Ooh.
does Garrett get booed?
No.
Nah, he won't get booed.
Hell no.
Jerry Jones might boo him.
Look at everybody out there. You guys see someone out there that's going to boo. Y'all not going to boo Jason Garrett.
Hey,
He's not coaching.
Hey, you're going to pay a price for
coach.
that. You're going to pay a price for booing Jason Garrett. I'm telling you, he has no responsibility other than Daniel Jones. Y'all think I'm joking, man. I'm telling you.
Now, if they hang 35 on Dallas, he's going to get booed.
I'm picking this defense to be stellar. I think our defense is going to
say, why'd they fire him?
Yeah.
I don't know. We went and got dogs, but they from everywhere. And I don't know if,
you're not feeling the camaraderie. You're not feeling the camaraderie.
No, I don't think they can put
it's
it all
not like
together.
us back in the day, though, man. We used to do things different.
And that's a good point Lincoln makes. I think that there's a little entitlement. A lot of guys are a little soft. They get a little sensitive to criticism and everything else.
Yeah, they're all on Facebook. They're all on Instagram.
No, they're not on Facebook.
And I think that starts with.
I got off Facebook like 3 months ago.
You got off Facebook.
Facebook. What is Facebook? Because
I'm always on
everybody's spaced
Facebook.
out. Everybody's spaced out.
What is that? Is that a new app? I need to.
That shows that he used to be on MySpace.
Facebook because
He
everybody's
used to be on
MySpace.
MySpace.
I guess MySpace.
Yeah, you forgot about MySpace.
I forgot about that. MySpace.
No, you ain't forget about it. Because you still got AOL, too.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Who has more yardage and receptions this year? CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper?
Cooper.
Oh.
Well, provided he's healthy.
You know what I like is I what I've seen, and I'm not trying to overreact, is Blake Jarwin. I think he gives him a little bit more flexibility in the slot with that tight end because, I mean, everyone loves Jason Witten, but we all know that he, Father Time catches up with him.
I didn't agree
He
with
don't use McCarthy don't use a tight
bringing
end
him
like
back last
that.
I
year.
didn't either. I didn't want him back when
I
he
didn't
came out
want
of
him back.
retirement.
I think he really hurt the
Especially
growth
the
on
excuse-
offense.
The excuse they came up with
Last year.
he's going to take us to the Super Bowl. Well, he's been there 15 years. What happened in the other 15?
But Blake Jarwin,
I think he stunted the growth of Blake Jarwin by coming back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Setting him back 2 years.
I ain't talking about Witten because I'm going to try to get him on the show. So
No, I love Jason.
No,
And I,
no, I'm on his team. I'm just saying.
But that's reality. That's
you
what
say-
happens.
yeah.
You're 17 years in the league, things don't move the same.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Heck, I didn't
Look
play
at you.
football and I
You're
can't
gonna
move.
say-
I ain't played 17 years. I did get 9. How many you got in total?
Oh, 4.
4. Well, that's all right. You got that pension.
And a couple of those were a cup of coffee.
You got that pension, though.
You and Cooper Cup?
Give me a Cooper Cup.
Hey,
It was
man.
just a cup of coffee, baby.
Hey, that's long enough.
Hey, I know we could do this all night long. and we're probably gonna have to get these guys back on here again.
As long as they keep bringing us beer, we're good, man.
Yeah.
That's messed up. The week that I'm not there, that's when y'all start getting beers on the show.
Well,
hey, you're a big boy. You do whatever you want.
You're going to be busy in the next.
Just ask your mom
your life's
first.
about to change, JT.
Well, listen
for
to
the
me.
best, brother.
I had to have one.
Appreciate it.
Because both of you guys are close to football and high school football. And we
Love
need to,
it.
before we do go, we need to talk to you know about what you're doing, and his if you want. But you know, it was another day for me. I've been on vacation all week because Swell and I went and took a trip and whatnot, and I decided to go ahead and stay home today in preparation for Teague's take. And boy, I tell you what, my phone was going crazy because we're supposed to start practice on Tuesday, or we are going to start practice on Tuesday at John Paul II High School. And
You over there?
I tell you,
I used to live right down the street from there, man.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
He turned
okay.
that program around.
Yes.
Really?
So
Really?
just all the rules and regulations, things that we're talking about with the pros and the
Okay.
pandemic and all that. It's
I love that place.
harder on the high school side just because, you know, you're dealing with kids that don't know how to social distance. They just
Oh no.
don't. I mean, I'm
Lord,
even looking
no.
at here. At least we are socially distanced. Lots of cameras and lots of things going on, but y'all are spread out.
They don't
Right.
like each other though.
But they don't like it. Those are all Cowboy fans.
I'm gonna say I wouldn't be 6 feet close to those dudes either.
The one Dolphin fan left already. So.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry, George.
No, so
Colonel Bill.
I just wanted to say, man, that you know it's a day that I needed to have me a cocktail, just because as we get ready to ramp up over this weekend,
Yeah.
y'all make sure y'all pray for me and think about
Okay.
me next
I
week
will.
because we got to do some big things this year.
Okay,
It's
there we
hard
go.
to
Yeah.
coach through this stuff. And before we get back to you guys, I want to say thank you to all of you guys out here for being out here. I know that you guys are driving. We got military people out here. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of fans that came out.
Got my guy over here in the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, big
Jason
crowd,
That's
big
right,
crowd,
old
man.
Jason, man. He
Jason
does big
Produ-
things with charity.
Batrado. Okay, I got it
We're
wrong.
gonna get some
You know what I
pictures
mean?
afterwards,
I got it
but-
wrong.
So, Tony, why don't you tell us how people can find you and what you're doing?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you can follow me on Twitter, TC Casillas, Instagram, Tony Casillas, and on Cameo. You should get on Cameo, but it's a great way to
We've
engage.
had that conversation.
How much?
yeah.
How
Oh
much
yeah, we already talked about that.
$2.50. I'm booked all the time, brother. Why am I booked so much? I think it was a mistake on my part. No.
Hey, next time we got to find one of your
Oh,
sample
God.
shots and put that up on the website.
Oh, my
somehow so
Lord.
we can get that. Brett Thomas, make sure we find one of those. So we can
No,
post it.
and I also do a podcast called on Blogging the Boys. It's called the 750. Me and RJ Ochoa. Nothing but Cowboy content. So they get
RJ's
tired
a
of
good
listening.
guy.
Yeah, if they get tired of listening to your podcast, come on over. It's a great format.
We'll do something together, brother.
Yeah, and I'm staying busy. Just really enjoying life. You mentioned college. I mean, I have 2 kids. My son's at Oklahoma, Boomer Center. Daughters at Arkansas.
Jet.
So
SEC.
boy, they need to go to
Barely.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
barely.
Listen,
You're right.
man.
They need to go back
Listen,
to the Big
man.
12
Much
because
as I love TC, I thought Jet was just gonna be, you know what I mean? He used to just love being out on the damn field.
Yeah.
I tried to get
Then all of a
Jet-
sudden he
I miss
goes up
that
to
too. That's
7'9".
I tried to get Tony to bring him over there to play for me. He would never do. I tried to get
I was
Tony.
like, what
I tried
the
to get
hell?
Tony to come coach with me. He wouldn't coach with me.
He
I
was
tried
so
to give
damn
his son.
small.
Oh, come on, Tony.
Man,
I
Tony,
just like,
he
why?
didn't bring his
Hey,
kid.
can
I was like,
I
he
pull
just
the
gonna
curtain
love
back
football.
because you asked me to come over there?
Oh my God.
And you it's a volunteer. You weren't going to pay me anything.
Man, I've been doing that for like 10 years.
Hey, that's why I didn't come over there.
Listen,
Volunteer.
TC used to pay, baby.
So
So I'm just saying.
No, you told me you on permanent disability.
Volunteer.
You told me you on total permanent
Hey,
disability.
Hey, I was when I came over there and I tried to stand up for 2.5 hours. So can I just give the respect because people don't understand that these coaches that the players out there doing the work. I went out there for 2 hours, and that's before I had my knee replacement. And I stood out for 2 hours. It was in May during spring. It was during spring football. And I stood up there for two hours. I'm like, dang, man, this is just to stand there and just interact with the kids. But anyway, coaches, you got to give them a lot of respect for just being out there engaging. But, when you said I was going to be on staff, but I was going to be a volunteer, I said, I think I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. But no, you do a great job
Hey,
over there.
second round draft pick.
Yeah,
No. If
need
you're
no
at John
point.
Paul, man, that is a beautiful campus, bro.
Yep,
Like I said, I was right up the street from. I used to take kids when I used to do individual coaching. I used to take them right over there until they kicked me up.
You were sneaking on our
I
field,
was
man.
sneaking on the field, baby. That
See,
field was
that's what I'm talking
beautiful.
about. That remind y'all.
Hey, you got to pay rent.
That's right.
I know, man. They tried to. I kept hitting them with. I played with the Cowboys. They go, yeah, all right, but you got to go.
So, Lincoln, what you got going on now, though? Since you brought that up,
I am. I'm on Cameo as well. I'm 27.50.
He talking about age.
I got a pretty good price point there. But I used to coach. I used to be a high school head coach. I won a national. I'm not a national, but a state championship.
title?
So if you need some help, you know what I mean. Not here in Texas, in Michigan. I have 2 running backs who were Player of the Year for the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Justin Hoskins, and I can't remember the other boy. Went to Notre Dame. The other went to Alabama. Okay, and so I've coached. It's just I'm not ready to do any more coaching.
See, here's what I'm talking
These
about.
kids, man. So they just, they gave me the, I went to the schools that had the metal detectors, and the police dogs. You know what I mean? And so it just wore me out.
Is that why you don't have no hair?
Yes, that's it. No, look at the hair that I have is great. The hair that I have is great, baby. No, but I have a lot of fun doing the coaching. I would love to come out there.
Well, I'm just gonna have y'all come and talk
Learn
to
from you.
Come out there and talk to our guys some of the time. So,
yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap this thing up, man. And get out of here. We're gonna have to next week. You know who we got coming on? Y'all know this guy too. We got Clancy Pendergast coming on next week.
What?
He's gonna be on from remote. But the next 3 shows,
COVID. I ain't scared of that COVID.
Y'all know about this. The next 3 shows, all going to be dedicated. Well, I probably shouldn't say it that way. We're going to talk about Terrell Owens for the next 3 shows, 3 episodes.
Listen, are you going to be here, or are you just doing it from?
Nope, we're going to be here. We're going to be here at the Maverick Bar.
I'm coming.
So you need to come back. So Clancy, the coach, is going to be here.
Where's Clancy at? Where's he at now?
He's chilling in California.
I got you.
After he left USC. So we're going to talk about his thoughts as my defensive back coach doing that game. The next week we got Darren Woodson on, who got kicked out of that game also. So we're also going to be talking there.
All right.
Yes, sir. Then the 3rd episode, we got the entire Teague family coming up here, and we're going to be talking about let Casuela tell her story, what it was like being up in the stands. Doing that show, so it should be fun. So,
all right,
thank you guys for everything. Bro.
Thanks for having me, brothers.
Yes, sir.
And on the comments out of Facebook, James Bradshaw wanted to know where we're doing the show from. James, it is live every week, every Thursday, 6 p.m. start time. I guess I could say 6 p.m. kickoff. That'd be appropriate, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Live from the Maverick Bar and Grill in Carrollton, Texas, 1616 West Hebron Parkway. Mike Fisher will tell you it is 16 minutes from anywhere in DFW, but Stretch said that's not true. He came from Azle. It'll take more than 16 minutes.
Azle's not in DFW. Don't let him fool you.
House.
There you
Azle's
go.
in Oklahoma.
I'm about to tell y'all a little way down there.
I mean, 30 minutes, baby.
Northwest of Fort Worth. Yeah.
Northwest.
Yeah,
Hey, man,
way the
y'all
heck
give
out
us
there.
some likes. Y'all find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, everywhere. Y'all.
All right, man. I'm
Give
going
us some
to
likes,
shoot you
some
on
likes,
my
man.
Facebook page, man.
Yeah, leave a good
Yes,
review for us and the boys here so that everybody else can help find that podcast when they're looking for it. Hashtag Teague's Take on all the social media if you want to find some show content, or hashtag Ask Teague. If you want to ask Coach Pendergast a question for next week, we'll have those printed out and ready for him. 6 o'clock next Thursday, live from the Maverick Bar. As we said, I'm IndyCar Tim. He is George Teague. That's JT on the video. This is world champion Tony Casillas, world champion Lincoln Coleman.
Stay off Facebook.
Stay off Facebook.
Space Jam.
We are Teague's Take Podcast. It's over and we are out.
Yes, sir.